So let's get into it with the man of the hour. The agenda does belong to Eddie Betts, who has thrilled us all for so long. His desire was to make us smile, and how could you not when you look back at moments like these?
This is a man that has entertained with a smile on his face from day one.
Betts to run onto it. They need something special. Can Eddie deliver? Have a look at that for the first goal of your career. What a beauty!
To reach 350 games, it's unbelievable. I kind of pinch myself, to be honest, just understanding about my journey and where I've come from and how I got to where I am and what I've achieved over those years. I sit back and think, wow.
Eddie filled them all, escaped, Eddie Betts, Eddie Betts!
No! Eddie, the unbelievable. It does not get any better than that.
Someone that just loves playing footy. He loves being on the big stage. He loves showing us the skills that he can perform.
Weaves in and out. Betts has kicked it.
He's a human highlight reel. He has humility. He does it with a smile on his face.
And that's just the way that I live my life, the way that I've been brought up, the way that my father taught me, is that to be nice, to be kind, to treat everyone equally, to respect one another, to treat someone the way that you would like to be treated, and to put smiles on people's faces and to make people happy.
He turned to the ground and he says, I'm Eddie Betts.
I kind of brought that into my footy life, and to make people smile and to kick goals, to try entertain.
Eddie Betts turns back the clock.
He plays it in a manner that drags people through the gates.
It's been a lot of ups and downs, but I wouldn't change anything, the journey that I've had.
That is amazing.
Everything that he stands for is what's good about our game.
We're a wonderful ambassador for our game.
It doesn't matter who you barrack for. If you don't enjoy watching Eddie play, you don't enjoy footy.
The ace in the pack was none other than Eddie Betts.
We're going to miss him.
It's actually been a crazy journey, a wonderful journey, and I'm going to really, really miss playing AFL footy. I am.
Feed the frenzy, Eddie.
We do owe him a collective debt of gratitude, and we have been blessed for a couple of years to have him as part of the 360 family, mostly by remote, which has been the only pity involved in it. So, Eddie Betts, we say to you, congratulations and welcome again.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Do you feel like, emotions have been heightened for a little while now. What's the past 36 hours been like for you?
I've actually been quite well, but just watching that little clip, I've started getting emotional, thinking about footy again, thinking about footy with fans. So, it's been pretty big, but just want to soak up the week, enjoy it, and go out, 2 more hours left this weekend to play one game left, and, we'll see how we go.
How have you found reliving your journey? Do you find it cathartic? Do you find it... does it reveal itself a little bit to you as you think through all your different days?
Yeah, I haven't really reflected just yet. I think I'll do that in the next couple of weeks. At the moment now, we're just trying to soak up the week. Getting a lot of text messages, you're speaking to a lot of people, and you just want to enjoy it. But looking back at those goals just then, I'm trying to figure out how they went in and how they kicked them, to be honest.
So it has been interesting to hear you say you're not quite sure how you ever did it. Tell us in your heart that you do know.
You got to caress it. You got to talk to the ball.
Yes.
Come back to you.
And congratulations from all of us. I watch that as well and get not emotional. I get emotional for you because we mean it, and there are players within the game, Jared. When we commentate, sometimes they do things and you don't have to make a comment. You just laugh. And Eddie's one of them. And the number of occasions we've seen him do something and then you just start laughing because you know that you are not ever capable of doing it and there aren't anyone else capable of as well. So thanks for all those memories. Give me the one player. Give me the one that gave you a great deal of grief because you gave so many nightmares, sleepless nights beforehand. Was there one that you probably after 350 games look back on and go, yeah, he might have just got me?
Yeah, there are some moments in, obviously we're playing for so long that, yeah, you line up with some opponents. I remember my first game against North Melbourne. I was sitting down in the rooms, and you got the magnets on the board, and Dennis Pagan. My name was next to Glenn Archer. Glenn Archer was just got the shin bone, the toughest man in AFL history. I was like, oh my god, I'm playing off Glenn Archer. I'm going to try. I don't want to go near him. He's just been named the toughest man in AFL history. And Campbell Brown. I remember Campbell Brown walked up to me in my first game against Hawthorn. He said, "Put your head overboard. I'm going to kill you." And Campbell, when he was on playing footy, when he stepped over that white line, he was fierce. And there's been plenty more. Nick Smith from Sydney, he was probably one that was really tough. He was a good opponent. He wasn't always the one that was aggressive, but he was always there by your side and gave you a hard time. And probably one more would be Ben Stratton. Everyone knows Ben Stratton. He likes to niggle, pinch you, step on your toes, and do all those from Hawthorn. And when you line up against Hawthorn, you're going to expect to be hit, pinched, stepped on, pushed, elbowed, all these kind of little things. So you have to figure out ways trying to get away from him.
How much have you grown up in footy, Eddie? So from a young man with a dream to an elder statesman, which we experienced really vividly with you a week ago. So in a way, footy's been your adult life.
Yeah, it is. It's been a big part of my life, 17 years. And when I first got to the AFL, I didn't really want to speak to anyone. I was a shy young kid. I didn't really speak in front of a classroom because I didn't go to school that much. And I did have no confidence to speak up. So the way I learned that was going to schools, talking to kids, because that's what we do as AFL footballers, to go and do these footy clinics with young kids. And when I did that, I just wanted to go and kick the footy because that's what I knew I was good at. And now, when I change that around, I don't want to go kick the footy. I just want to go in the classroom and talk to the kids because I know that I'm good at it. So, the AFL platforms really gave me a place to express myself. And I guess when I speak about my voice and when I want to use it is, I got that belief off Adam Goods. And what Adam went through, in his journey and the way he finished was really disappointing. And he's given me the courage and the strength to speak up, to use my voice. And I thank Adam for that.
We suspect that story will continue to be written, and we hope that it is. How do you find the balance? I mean, your love of the game is so evident. It's pure. You make people smile. That comment has been made so many times. But, footy's such a brutal game. And I'm not necessarily just talking about some of the challenges that you've had to endure throughout your whole career. I'm talking about just, the ups and downs of footy. When you're in form, when you're out of form, when your club's struggling, when your coach is under the pump, when the review comes on after a particularly bad game. That can get to players. But you always, from the outside anyway, seem to have this great ability to either compartmentalise that and maintain this cheery disposition. Did it ever get to a stage where you looked at it and went, geez, this is getting really hard or too hard?
There was a period, but then I just go back to the way that I was taught. It's just to always smile and treat everyone equally and have fun while you're doing it. And, footy is tough and it is a really hard game, but you're there because you love the game. And I love football. The smell of the deep heat when you go into the change room. And when you go to local footy, you smell that deep heat. And just getting out there, enjoying it, because I grew up with it with all my cousins and just kicking that ball. It kind of keeps that little child inside of me. It gives me joy and just wants to go out, have fun and entertain. And I guess, through the tough times like you talk about, obviously being at Carlton for 9 years early on, it was a tough time. We played some finals there. But then going to Adelaide, playing some good footy, get to a grand final, it was just unbelievable and it was fun. And then coming back to Carlton, it still is fun because I still really enjoy it, but we just not as consistent in the last 2 years. But I guess you just got to, bring that little kid out inside of you and just enjoy playing footy.
Is it so? Carlton fans were ringing today, lamenting the years where you went to Adelaide, and they still can't believe that they allowed it to happen. For your progression and your development, how valuable were those 6 years in Adelaide, where you've laid claim to that ground like only a few? Maybe there's not a footballer who's laid claim to that ground quite like you.
Yeah, well, it was a tough decision. And, I was a Carlton Life member. I loved the football club. I didn't want to leave. And, I think it was 7 years ago, it was one of the hardest decisions I had to make was to pack up my family and move to South Australia. but I believe it was one of the best decisions I made too, because my football, it was just a fresh start. I started using my voice a bit more. I don't know why I did it at Carlton. I didn't use my voice in my early years, but when I got to Adelaide, I started talking up a bit. People started listening, and I started getting confident in speaking and leading, and it really grew inside of me, and it showed when I started playing footy as well. And we had some great times. And when I went across to Adelaide, that was the first year that Adelaide Oval was all built, and that oval was just unbelievable. And I really enjoyed my time over there. We had some great fun, great friends, great memories. Obviously we made the grand final. It was a tough day to Burton, but we had some great fun over there.
That Adelaide Oval pocket of yours, which you want it renamed, I don't think anyone's going to argue with you. Did you feel a pressure to deliver something for them? Because we would watch the games back here in Melbourne, and the crowd's there, and every time you went near it, they would be up, and the expectation or the demand was, give us a moment, Eddie, that I can go back to my kids and talk about for the next 20 years. I mean, did you feel that kind of pressure to produce something magical on a regular occasion?
Yeah, no, not really. Well, when you went near the ball, the crowd got louder. So, I don't know, Gary. To be honest, I don't know how it always ended up in those pockets down the other end on the hill. I mean, it was the other side. They said that was the Eddie Betts pocket, but then I kicked all the other goals from the left-hand side.
I have both of them, Ed.
It was pretty crazy. When you take a mark and you haven't set shots and the crowd's going crazy, they're chanting your name. All I'm asking for is just wait till I kick the goal first and then cheer. But it was amazing. And when you play at Adelaide Oval, it's unbelievable with a full crowd, 55 max, and it feels like there's 100,000 there. So I really enjoyed it, and I actually broke down last week walking off the ground after Port Adelaide. It was really emotional because I knew it was my last game at Adelaide Oval. So walking off, I got emotional. I was speaking to Travis Boak and Ken. And he walked over and he spoke to me for about 5 minutes when the boys were walking off, and I got emotional. We walked into the rooms. I started bawling my eyes out, and the boys didn't know what I was crying for, because I haven't told the boys about that was my last game at Adelaide Oval. So it was really emotional. My son sent me a message, Louis, and Anna sent the message to me, and he was bawling his eyes out saying, Dad, it was your last game at Adelaide Oval. You got beaten by 95 points. It was pretty tough, and because we had some great memories there, and I really love that Oval.
So the final game's not going to look like the final game should, with a crowd and family and the like. For what it's going to be, do you have a wish for your last game of footy?
No, not really. To be honest, when I think about that, when I think about the joys of having fans there, and when you play a milestone game, and I look back on my 300th game, and I could say that was one of the best weeks of my life. Playing at Adelaide Oval with packed out house with all my family from all over Australia come to one room to celebrate. That milestone was unbelievable, and right now, to be honest, it doesn't matter as long as we stay safe here in Victoria. Our band's doing all these part and keeping us safe, and we've got to do the right thing at the moment so we can get out of this lockdown. We need everyone to stay safe. So, as the last game for me, I don't really care about crowds or anything, as long as Victoria stays safe and play by the rules, and we get out of this lockdown.
I mean, how soon are we going to see Louis running around in a Carlton jumper? Because the Carlton faithful, they're happy and prepared to let you go, but they want the next generation coming through. How's he tracking?
He's going really well, Louis. I think he took it harder than I did, because he's been brought up in this world. He's been brought up in the footy life, and I've always told him your life is different to any other young kid, because he gets to walk on the oval with me, but gets to come into change rooms, high five Tex Walker, Paddy Dangerfield, and now Patrick Cripps and the likes of these players. And I said it's going to be different, but we can still go down to the rooms and see the players and all of that. But he's coming along well. Billy loves footy as well, and my youngest son's name Eddie Betts, so you might see another Eddie Betts in the future. But that's only if they want to play footy. I don't want to push them. They can do what they want.
Your journey's been remarkable, Eddie, and I think we all look forward to what comes next, and we hope to have a share in that. So we're at your shoulder, Eddie, for your last game, and more importantly for beyond, particularly as we reflect back on your words from a week ago. Enjoy the finale.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. And I'm looking forward to working more at Fox. So, that would be part of the next chapter in my life, and I'm really looking forward to it. To be honest, it's exciting. No skim folds, no 2K time trials.
You're going to kick Brown or Rewald off the couch? I can sort it out. Which one?
Yeah, put me on the couch there. I'll do something. Gary, we'll chuck you off and let me down. Chuck Nick off.
Yeah, no, that's more like it.
Good on you, Eddie. Good man.